Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about school reform, past and present, national interest, how national interest is influenced by Common Core, or how the Common Core could be influenced by the national interest, and the role that Common Core might play in the presidential race. School reform isn't a new concept. Actually, it's been around for over a century. James Conant was born into a common middle-class family. In his early years, school was difficult for him. However, he grew up to be a very intelligent man that attended Harvard and later went on to teach there. Because of his modest upbringings, he strived to find a way to provide an elite college education to common people like himself. He proposed a national scholarship program that would identify young scholars and make it possible for them to attend Harvard. By doing this, he decided he needed to find a valid and reliable measure of academic aptitude to determine scholarship eligibility. This is how the Scholastic Aptitude Test came about, most commonly known as the SAT. The SAT instilled a firm belief in standardized testing, which later played a part in the foundation of the Educational Testing Service. While this is just a brief rundown of the beginning of school reform, I think that it is important for us to see that school reform isn't new. We hear more about it because of mass media, but in all actuality, it's been around for some time. There are many current or potential reforms happening in public education. The flipped classroom is one of them. The concept behind the flipped classroom is to reverse the traditional educational arrangement. What that means is that the instructional content would be delivered outside of class so that there is more time for hands-on activities and to engage in concepts in the classroom with the guidance of a teacher. STEM is another topic in regards to school reform. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math Education. The areas are focused on together because the skills and knowledge of each discipline are intertwined, and so it is most effective to teach students about them in an interdisciplinary and applied approach. STEM also uses a lot of hands-on and problem-based learning. President Obama was quoted as saying that the goal for STEM is that within a decade, American students must move from the middle to the top of the pack in science and math. The Common Core is something that we have been hearing a lot about lately. According to corestandards.org, the Common Core is a set of high-quality academic standards in math and English language arts. These learning goals outline what a student should know and be able to do at the end of each grade. This will ensure that all students that graduate from high school will have the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed in college, a career, and life, regardless of where they live. The Common Core is a hot topic because, generally speaking, individuals are strongly for the Common Core or strongly opposed to it. There aren't very many fence riders when it comes to this issue. Some of the benefits of the Common Core is that if you lived in one state but moved to another state across the country, the new state that you moved to would be teaching generally the same skills similar to where you had been. The Common Core standards are guidelines, so instruction and tests are still determined by districts and schools. Another benefit of the Common Core is rigor. Common Core provides a greater transfer to real-world situations and doesn't rely on rote learning. Some of the concerns are developmental issues. The Common Core doesn't address students with unique needs. Another concern regarding the Common Core is testing. Many people feel that the testing services are the only ones benefiting from the Common Core and all the annual testing that has to be done. Another area that I would like to address is national interest. National interest is influenced heavily by politicians, which in turn means that voters help determine the national interest since they are in office because of voters. Media also plays a pivotal role in national interest. Much like any hot topic, people get their information from media sources, whether it be TV, internet, or print. Therefore, whatever is publicized well eventually influences and helps determine the national interest. National interest is influenced by Common Core because it's such a buzzword right now. On the flip side, the Common Core could be influenced by the national interest because as the interest changes towards Common Core, then Common Core too will change. The last thing that I would like to discuss are the effects that the Common Core might have on the presidential race. Common Core might be one of the biggest topics with the presidential candidates. In an article that I recently read, it noted that less than 24 hours after Jeb Bush announced that he would like to explore a presidential bid, Rand Paul, who is also a potential candidate, said, "We need leaders who will stand against the Common Core." Conservatives tend to be opposed to the Common Core because they view the Common Core as an intrusion to state and local control of the government. Those opposed to the Common Core have called the standards Obama Core. I would just like to take a few minutes, or thank you for taking a few minutes to listen to me discuss school reform, the national interest, how Common Core is influenced by national interests, and how Common Core might play a role in the presidential race. Thank you.